The house does not stand only as a symbol of wealth. It comes like a statement, a paradigm shift in how a world star interprets the word home. Many imagine the celebrity's house as a majestic building with high pillars, sparkling crystal chandeliers, and a spacious garden full of ornaments. But the news circulating describes something different. Minimalist, modern, clean, yet still warm. Strict lines meet soft, natural lighting. Large glass frames the sky, not just showing off the scenery, but inviting light in as the main element of design. Design observers say that the residential concept represents a new generation. A generation that no longer flaunts luxury in a vulgar way, but prioritizes tranquility, privacy, and inner balance. In a world that is constantly moving fast, the house is like an oasis of silence, and therein lies its strength. What astonishes architects is not just premium materials or smart technologies embedded in them. It's how spaces are organized to create emotional flow. The living room is not too spacious but feels intimate. Private studio integrated with a relaxing space, as if erasing the boundary between work and breathing. The kitchen, which opens to a small garden, presents a flowing living impression without rigid partitions. An interior designer, who declined to be named, said that the house reflects the character of its owner. Simple on the outside, complex on the inside. Jungkook, who is known to the public as a performer full of energy on stage, apparently chose a residence with neutral colors and natural textures. Warm wood combines with elegant exposed concrete. Greenery is placed not as a decoration, but as a living element that merges with architecture. Not a few people ask, why is this house so much talk? The answer may be because he was present at the right time. Global residential trends are moving towards sustainability and environmental awareness. And reportedly, the house is designed with energy efficiency, natural air circulation, as well as maximum lighting without relying entirely on electricity during the day. Smart panels, integrated security systems, to automatic temperature control are part of the invisible yet felt design. But behind all that, there is an emotional side that makes the story of this house even more dramatic. Jungkook is not a figure born of instant luxury. He grew up through a long process as a trainee from a young age, sacrificing adolescence for an uncertain dream. When he finally stood at the peak of popularity with BTS, each achievement felt like a new chapter of a journey full of hard work. Then this house, for many fans, is not just a property. It is a symbol of travel. A proof that a consistently pursued dream can lead to a space worthy of being called a personal paradise. The architects who analyzed the photos said that the proportions of the building were taken into account. Not too high to look haughty, not too low to lose character. The facade is clean, almost without excessive ornamentation. Beauty arises from the play of light and shadow. In the evening, soft lighting makes the house seem like a huge warm lantern instead of a nondescript palace. Even more surprising is the news that some of the design elements were chosen directly by Jungkook himself. He is said to be involved in the process of material selection and spatial planning. It is not enough to leave everything to a professional team. This engagement shows that the house is truly personal. He does not want to just have a place to live, but rather create a space that reflects him. This phenomenon then sparked a wider discussion. Is Jungkook's house the new standard of dream living? Many young people are starting to dream of a house with a similar concept. It does not have to be pretentious, but it has a strong identity and maximum functionality. Social media is filled with discussions about modern minimalist design in the style of Korean celebrities. The property developers began to look at the concept of a more personal and life-oriented balance. But of course, behind the praise there is also skepticism. Some people think that anything associated with a big name like Jungkook will always look amazing. Popularity can exaggerate perception. But even critics admit that the design of the dwelling reflects real global trends. The house is no longer just a status symbol, but a space of protection from the boisterous world. In previous interviews, Jungkook has implied that home is where he can be himself without the camera. It is there that he can practice, make music, or simply be silent without demands. And maybe that's the whole point of all this admiration. The house is not about luxury, but about freedom to breathe. When night falls and the lights of the city come on, the house stands as a witness to the journey of a young boy who conquers the world, not with pride, but with hard work and dedication. The design that stunned the architect was just an outer layer of a deeper story. It is a reflection of changing times, where the dream dwelling is no longer measured by how large it is, but how deep its meaning is, and perhaps, without us realizing it, the house has indeed become the new standard. Not because he belongs to a global star, but because he teaches that the best place to live is a space built with awareness, sincerity, and clear vision. In its silence, the Jungkook house speaks loudly about the future of architecture. More human, warmer, and more honest, a dwelling that does not just stand majestically, but lives with its owner. The discussion about the house did not stop at mere aesthetic compliments. It became a broader symbol, almost like a silent manifesto of how a global figure like Jungkook chose to live his life after years of being under the spotlight. Amid BTS' joint world tour schedule, the pressures of the entertainment industry, and the expectations of millions of fans, the house seems like a calm but firm answer. This is where the line between stage and personal life is clearly drawn. Some architectural observers even say that the residence reflects a shift in South Korean celebrity culture. If in the past the artist's house was synonymous with flashy luxury and a blatant symbol of status, now there is a tendency to design more introspective spaces. Jungkook's house is said to be at the forefront of that change. It does not scream through gold ornaments or exaggerated facades. It speaks through proportion, texture, and light. The news circulating says that the area in the house is designed with the concept of controlled openness. This means that the main spaces are interconnected without rigid partitions, but still maintain privacy at certain points. It's not just about design, it's about philosophy. Openness reflects transparency and freedom of expression, while private corners become a symbol of the need for self-protection. In such an open world, this kind of balance feels even more relevant. What astonished many architects was the courage to play with free space. In an era when many luxury residences are filled with decorations and large furniture, this house actually utilizes negative space as a design element. A spacious white wall that is left clean does not mean that it is empty, but rather gives breath. High ceilings without flashy light hangers actually reinforce the impression of elegance that does not force attention. Every detail feels thought out, not just placed. Not a few also highlight the possibility of a private studio in it. As a musician known for being a perfectionist, Jungkook is believed to need a creative space capable of supporting uninterrupted exploration. Shadows about soundproofed rooms with warm lighting, state-of-the-art recording equipment, and large windows overlooking a small garden add a dramatic layer to the story of this home. It was in that space that perhaps new tones, honest lyrics, and musical experiments that would one day shake the world were born. On the other hand, fans see the house as a symbol of maturity. Jungkook, who debuted as a teenager, has now grown into a man with a clear vision of his life. The house became a marker of a new phase, as if to say that his long journey had brought him to the point where he could choose consciously how and where he wanted to live. No longer just following the flow of the industry, but building a space that fully reflects itself. This phenomenon has even sparked a new trend among the younger generation of Asians. Modern minimalist residential concept with a personal touch began to be the aspiration of many people. Social media is filled with design inspiration called a la Jungkook, the play of natural wood, large glass, soft lighting, and warm, open layouts. The property developers began to catch this signal, realizing that the market is now looking not only luxury, but meaning. But behind all that admiration, there is one thing that is rarely discussed openly: silence. A house as big and beautiful as anything remains silent if it is not filled with warmth. And this is where the narrative gets even deeper. Many speculate that the house is not only for himself, but also for the family. A place where he could share his time without the distraction of cameras, without a busy schedule, without the demands of the public.